Ah, cabrón, me asusté. Ah, chinga. Y como yo le tengo dichosos los invitados a la cena del señor, así que vente con este señor. Jas, jas. Qué pendeja notificación. eh, eh, eh. em, Güey, si me pongo un no binario de Twitch me dará más visibilidad. La verdad, no sé. Bueno, en fin. Viva Cristo Rey. Em, bueno, pues ya puse etiquetas. Chingue su madre. Marcadores del stream. Nunca he sabido para qué sirven esas pendejadas. En fin, viva Cristo Rey. Y ahí está, se cambió correctamente. Esta. ¿Ya cuándo la? Bueno, en fin. En fin. A ver. Luis Enrique. Ay, estoy hablando solo con la ventana abierta. Si a mi celeste le va a cerrar la ventana para que no me funen. ¿Qué decía yo? Ah, elegí un idioma, confirmar, confirmar, confirmar. A ver, quiero ver primero cómo se está viendo, cómo se está escuchando, cómo está funcionando todo. ¿Todo bien? ¿Sigo en stream? ¿Sigo en stream? ¿Sigo en stream? ¿Sigo en stream? Porque me sale que 16 pinches minutos, 10 16 segundos solamente. A ver, quiero ver primero cómo se está viendo, cómo se está escuchando, cómo está funcionando todo. ¿Todo bien? ¿Se escucha bien? Se escucha un pequeño beat. ¿Por qué chingados se escucha ese beep? Monitorear el micrófono. Tip, 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 tip. Cuando hablo, cuando hablo se escucha ese beat así ahí. Entonces, a ver aquí. A ver aquí. Tip, 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 tip. A ver aquí, a ver. A ver, me voy a callar. A ver, se escucha un poquitín. A ver, qué chingados. Bueno, bueno. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Ah, bueno. Se escuchó un... Yo ahí hablando. Mira, es que ese beat se escucha. Ese beat. Ya se sigue escuchando el puto beat. Pero bueno. Se escucha un leve. Bueno. Chinga su madre. Vamos a jugarlo. ¿Jugaste este Stanley Parable alguna vez? La realidad es que no. Quisiese haberlo jugado antes. No. Ajusta la barra del horizonte hasta que la computadora sea apenas visible. Pendejo. Creo que ahí no. Bueno, ahí todavía se ve. A ver, ahí ya no se ve. O sea, se ve muy, muy leve. Ahí yo diría. Em, la hora actual. Ah, qué puto miedo. Oh, qué miedo. Yo no sabía que pedía esto. ¿Para qué quieres la hora? No te puedes acceder a la configuración de accesibilidad desde el menú principal. Ok. Ok. A ver qué tal el ruido de fondo, porque este juego tiene mucho ruido. A ver. Ay, tengo la tele prendida también. A ver. ¿Por qué mi micrófono se escuchaba el beat? Ah, se escucha bien, me gusta, me gusta. Ok, ahí se ve bien. Bueno, todo se ve como dirían viento en popa, configuración, campo de visión, sensibilidad, un poquito más de sensibilidad. Presentación, español, mostrar subtítulos y subtítulos normal, un poquito más grandes. Bueno, no, un poquito más pequeños. Accesibilidad, no, no, no. Ok, datos del jugador, restauración, configuración. Bla, 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 bla. Ok, a ver. Ten this never, ten this never, ten this never, ten this loading. Never. Ok. Este juego yo le
This
traigo
is the story of
ganas.
a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one
Yo
day,
todos los
something
días yendo a
very
la uni.
peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had
Perdón.
arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ah, soy yo. Sí, sí, ya lo recordaba. Es que jugué, vi un video en YouTube, pero tenía muchas ganas de jugarlo. La cámara me estresa que sea tan lenta. Bueno, eso lo bajaré. Pero bueno, en fin.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What the fuck? I
Stanley
see.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Parece uno de esos backrooms.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ay, se me hacen cagado. Hala. Mis rastros de sus colegas, pues sí. A ver. Esta puerta no tiene números. Esta tampoco. Porque se escucha como si le picaron una. ¿Qué dice? No puedo acercar. Dice. Have fallen. Estás decaído o algo así, dice. ¿Por qué siento tanto miedo? What the fuck. Me siento asustado. Tenso me noto. plantas.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Extraño, qué extraño. Estoy asustado, me noto asustado, tenso.
Yet there was not a single
Ay,
person here
pendejo.
either. Feeling a
Me
wave
asusté.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ay, me asusté. Pinche... Oye, ando bien nervioso, ¿qué pedo?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No había nada ahí, dice.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Que
No
la...
reason to still be here.
Perdóname, pues.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bueno, voy a subir. Me da miedo desobedecer a este güey, no sé por qué. ¿Qué cojones? Dice, got... He tenido la sensación de que el dinero... Sterling. El dinero no vale o algo así. Time. Qué extraño que... Qué puto susto que se cierran las puertas de esa manera, neta. Me pone muy mal. Mi corazón se siente mal, la verdad. ¿Qué es esto? Cerrada.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2846, pero Stanley no tenía manera de saberlo. Pues no, no tengo. 2846.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
2846, pues no, ¿cómo podría pinche saberlo?
2845.
2845 o 2846.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself.
¡Hala!
And Stanley got the
Me
hell
cagué.
on with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Ah, ojo. Ojo, ojo. Qué chingados. Me asusté bien feo. Como que what the hell, pendejo. Pues si yo, ¿cómo chingados voy a saber la puta contraseña? siguiendo con el orden de la narrativa del pinche juego.
Descending deeper into
Güey,
the
este juego no
building,
es de terror,
Stanley
pero
realized
estoy
he
cagado.
felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
La respuesta a esta pregunta, a ver. Ah, cabrón, que se vio.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the
Ay,
large door
pendejo.
that read Mind Control Facility.
¿Por qué dice escape una? Bueno, mejor. Voy para acá.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
What the fuck?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and
Pero
Stanley,
porque yo seré el
one
único
of
que
them,
no
eternally monitored in
se
this
fue
place
cuando
where
todos lo
freedom
hicieron, o
meant
sea,
nothing.
no entiendo, no tiene sentido eso. A ver, ¿no puedo correr de alguna manera o algo así? A ver,
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
qué increíble narración. Luis, buenas, gracias, qué milagro.
The heart of the
Qué
operation.
milagro verlo por aquí.
Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content.
Muchas gracias, Melos, muchas
Walking,
gracias.
eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Me asusté. What the fuck? ¿Y este juegazo? Pues ya ves que había visto un video de él hace mucho y lo dejé a medias. Porque dije, no, güey. Quiero jugarlo cuando salga en consola. Y salió como 3 pinches años después. Entonces ya no me acuerdo ni de cómo era, ni de qué pedo. Pero la neta no sé por qué estoy bien cagado. Aunque ya sé 2, 3 de qué se trata. Pero juegazo, juegazo. Todos están streameando Fall Guys. Yo dije, ni pedo. Yo no. Me vale ver. Pero la verdadera pregunta aquí es, ¿para cuándo un Apex? Esa es la verdadera pregunta, Luis. ¿Sigues jugando Apex? Y si no, ¿qué esperas para volver a jugarlo? ¿Para cuándo un Apex? Entre ser o no ser. Yo digo que hay que ser jugadores de Apex. Nomás digo. Conect console disable a la verga. Casi no he jugado. No, hombre, Luis, no, hombre. Se ocupa. Se ocupa jugar un Apexón. ¿Qué chingados? No, bueno, pues no. Pendejo, pues no tuve que apretar ese, ¿verdad? Bueno, ahí hay un pinche botón, el número 5. Se me hace. Ese a todas luces es el número 1, ¿verdad? Ay, cabrón. No, pues. Pinche. Ah, no, este es el número 1. Este es el número 2. ¿Dónde está el número 3? Creo que ahí arriba. Ay, pendejo. ¿Qué chingados? Ey, ¿ese botón qué es? En ningún momento lo vi, ya no puedo subir. Bueno, 3. Tiene que haber otro botón por aquí. 3, 3. Aquí hay uno. 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Puto juego de cagada, ¿por qué me ponen tanta atención? Me siento bastante mal. ¿Dónde está el chingado 4? ¿Qué ojete se oye esto? ¿Esto qué chingados es? A ver, ¿y el puto 4? A ver, si ya no puedo entrar aquí. Tiene que estar. Si el 1, 2. El chingado 3 está allá. Este no. ¿Dónde chingado está el 4? Falta un puto número. Si le pico aquí. Bueno, no. Pendejo. Sí, era de esperarse. Ahora creo. Ah, que la. ¿Qué, güey? No puedo correr. Pues, ¿dónde está el puto 3? A ver, no me paga. ¿Y ese pinche botón qué? ¿Qué dice? Ni siquiera alcanzo a ver qué pinche dice. 1, 2. Ay, ¿dónde está el 4, la verdad? Ya no me acuerdo del último comentario que hizo el pinche narrador estúpido. 3. Y el 5 ahí está. A ver.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
No, todavía no, mijo. Todavía no encuentro el pinche 4. Uno, dos, tres. Y el chingado 4 tiene que estar por aquí. O sea, no puede ser posible que no. No puedo estar tan chingado ciego. Sí. O sea, sí puedo, ¿verdad? Sí, sí, sí estoy ciego, pero. Pues no. Creo que el 4 el botón de arriba, me imagino yo que va a ser pinche. Eso. Se lo comieron los gatos el 4, ya me di cuenta, ¿verdad? Pinche. En fin. Vamos a darle off. Dijo que era mi obligación. Obviamente este juego va de tomar decisiones. Ay, pendejo, me cagué. Ay, qué culero soy yo, me metí un pinche sustote.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet,
Ya me puedo mover.
even
Ay,
as the immense
qué
door
chingados.
slowly opened, Stanley reflected
Vámonos,
on
vámonos,
how
vámonos.
many
Ay, me
puzzles
caigo,
still
espérate.
lay unsolved.
Ay, güey, me mareé.
Where had his
Qué chingados. Ah, no.
gone? How
Qué
had he
verga.
been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer
Sino
would anyone tell
soltar.
him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Qué buena narrativa,
Whatever life
la
he
verdad.
lives,
O sea,
it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps
pinche
the only thing worth knowing.
inicio de Skyrim este
Stanley
juego,
stepped
güey.
through the open
Totalmente.
door.
A ver, Stanley cruzó la puerta abierta y si me tiro al
Stanley
vacío,
felt
güey.
the cool breeze upon his
Ay,
skin.
no me
The feeling
dejaron.
of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Ay, gran juego. Gran juego. Bueno, gente, aquí se quedó el director. No, broma, obviamente, pues se sabe que este juego va sobre eso. Sobre que es bromita todo. Pero lo que quiero, o sea, aún sabiendo la premisa del juego, aún sabiendo la premisa del juego, quiero ver.
All
O sea,
his
qué chingados
coworkers were
pasa.
gone. What
O
could
sea,
it mean?
que se supone
Stanley
que.
decided to
Ah,
go to the
cabrón.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Antes sí había una pinche pantalla ahí.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Quiero saber qué pasa
coworkers.
con estas chingaderas. O sea, con el pinche a ver, ¿cómo se dice? ¿Qué posibilidades puede tener este juego, verdad? Se supone que le agregaron finales y toda la mamada. Ya veremos. Ya veremos.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Morena. Voy a ir yo a esa madre. Va a ir su puta madre. Fuck.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this
Claramente.
immaculate, beautifully constructed room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Stanley tomó la primera puerta a la izquierda. ¿Qué es eso?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Jiji. A ver. Me estoy poniendo bien nervioso, pinche juego. Me pone los nervios.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not sure. Really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Pues
There's
obviamente
someone
yo
you've
soy el
been
jugador.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for... This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Pues dime qué hago. Entonces me vuelvo a subir o qué chingada. ¿Me suicido? Oye, ¿y si me suicido? ¿Si me suicido?
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley left from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
A ver. La de cancerbero. No, es que si un antisistema yo rompo las normas. Bueno, pues yo dije, pues qué chingados, pues no creo que el juego me permita suicidarme, ¿verdad? Pero ya descubrí que sí, a ver. Creo que yo en el video que vi no ve al güey tirarse de... Ah, cabrón, esto no era así antes. Ah, no. Awaiting input. Input recibido. ¿Qué chingados? Tengo que hacer otra cosa. A ver. Eso no estaba antes, a ver. ¿Qué chingados? A ver. Espera que no
No
esté
matter how
pronunciado. A
hard
ver.
Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Input recibido. Sí, un ruido extraño por aquí. Quiero creer que es el aire acondicionado. El pinche juego me pone de los nervios. El cancerbero. Oye, pues va con poco delay el directo, o sea, va con muy poco retraso. Qué bueno. Qué bueno es cuando la familia sale de la casa y dejan el internet libre.
When
A
Stanley
ver,
came
vamos a
to a
pasarnos
set of
otra vez
two
por los
open
huevos.
doors,
Bueno,
this was
a ver,
not the
sí.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley
Pero
knew it
vamos a darle
perfectly well.
caso al pana,
Perhaps
a
he
ver.
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Sí,
Wow.
vamos a admirarla.
Yes.
Wow,
This
qué
room.
bonita.
What a beautiful
Ese.
room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the
Pero
first
ansioso
open
dice.
door on his left.
Va con poco retraso, sí, ¿verdad? De dos veces, pinche. A
And so
ver,
he
tengo
detoured
que
through the
pronunciarlo.
maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Bajamos por ahí? ¿O le hacemos caso al pinche estúpido este? A ver. ¿Qué es esto?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
¿Cómo que no sabes?
Oh, no, it's to the right.
Ay,
I'm
pendejo,
sorry.
me asusté. Estúpido. Te va a decir que como que te gusta no seguir las reglas. Ya me fijé. Ay, me cajé. ¿Qué pedo? What the fuck? A ver.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly...
Hijo de puta.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Hijo de perro.
Now, let's see, we were done right.
Me asusté. Culero con la puerta.
Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Espérate, güey, ¿me va a atropellar? Ah, no. Güey, esto suena a secuestro express.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just
Cierra los ojos.
back to
A ver.
who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story
Ya lo
completely
arruinamos
unusable.
toda la historia. No
How
sirve
about,
para
rather
nada. A
than
la
waste
vez.
my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay.
Que no te
From the
desvías tanto.
top.
No mames, que me devolvió al principio del juego. Ah, sí, hijo de perra.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
¿Qué?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ok. Mira, ya no está prendida la chingadera esa. ¿Qué pedo?
When Stan-
Sí.
Wait,
Ay, güey.
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the
Pues no.
story somewhere, or... Hold on.
Pues no.
Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here
Pues
just a
sí.
minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
¡Hala!
Let's find the story.
Muchas puertas. ¿Por cuál ir? ¿Opiniones? ¿De qué puerta de todas estas ir? Pues por eso ya sabemos que no puedo ir. A ver, en esta posición. Izquierda centro, derecha superior, derecha inferior. Que eso es grande, pero que esto es mal. Por de chingados.
I'll say it. This is the worst
Tengo
adventure
que
I've
entrar
ever
algo.
been
Esta es
on. I
la
can
peor.
promise
¡Ah!
you there
¡Ay,
definitely
pinche!
was a story here
Bueno,
before.
bueno.
Do we need to
Y si te-
restart the game again?
No, no, no,
Well, I find
espérese,
it
güey.
unlikely that we'll ever progress
No me
by
parece
starting over
probable
and
que
over
avancemos
again,
y
but
reiniciamos.
it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it
No,
a shot.
espérese.
Why not?
Espérese. No, no. No me dejó. La izquierda del todo. Apenas iba a entrar. No me dejó. Ah, cabrón, ahora hay algo diferente. La luz.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Qué chingados. Una disculpa. Como que le valió madres al pinche narrador de cagada. Algo sigue estando mal aquí, ¿no? Noto algo.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just
Aquí ya no
came
había
from.
visto el
Why
video.
don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Ay. Aquí no. ¿Qué chingados es eso? 483 dice.
Aha! I knew
Ay,
we'd
me
missed
asusté.
something.
¿Qué pedo?
The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
¿Qué chingados? Uy, qué pinche escalofriante, güey.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of
No,
those
pues qué mansión
situations.
tienen. Una
I'm
silla de
getting weirded
Tecate.
out by whatever this place is.
Dios te
I don't
pedí
care
un
what
cuarto
might happen this
gamer, no
time,
un
I
palacio
have to
gamer, la verdad.
restart.
Sí.
All
Ah,
right,
cabrón.
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Ok. Creo que no voy a volver a la parte normal. Ah, cabrón, ahora cambió. La parte normal se fue de sabático. ¿Y si me vale madres? A ver.
No, I'm down. We're living it up to the line from now on.
Oh, que la buena, ahí voy, ahí voy. A ver, qué chingados, ahora sí.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this
ahí.
direction. Onward,
Que la-
Stanley,
no,
to
por así.
destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being
A la
via the
verga.
very manifestation
A la
of the
verga.
nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that
What the
existence,
fuck?
right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office,
Chingados está
is
diciendo?
this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on.
¿Qué
I've got a bit
chingados
weird
estoy
back
escuchando
there.
a Roberto
I'd like
Martínez?
to apologize. Not sure where I was
O al
going
narrador del
with that.
juego.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
El copyright. Spider-Man que te pegues a las paredes. Sí, ya. Ya se fue, creo que un poco rara esta madre. Cabrón, a ver qué hay de qué lado. Ah, cabrón, qué chingados. Espérate, mi perspectiva está mal. What the fuck? ¿Cuál chingada línea sigo? A ver. Ah, pues a gusto. Ah, voy al revés. ¿Qué?
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that
Ay, gracias a
fern.
Dios. Volví a la
Stanley,
leche.
this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Captura de pantalla. Pues no. Tiene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piquitos. Más inclinados hacia la izquierda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, así es. Con esa mano. A ver, a ver, a ver.
Wait, what? We're back
Eh.
at the office? No, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Ay, no, vamos a volver ahí. Bueno, a ver, vamos a volver. Vamos a ir aquí. Bueno, no va a reiniciar todo. Vamos a ver, vamos a ignorarlo un poquito. Vamos a ver dónde se cruza esta chingadera. A ver a dónde lleva. Aquí. Ah, a dónde mi. Ah. Pinche línea de cagada. A ver. Espérate, ya me confundí. ¿Cuál era la línea de verdad de esta? Esta. Ah, qué le. ¿No? Sí, es por aquí, sí, sí, sí.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through...
Me pone nervios.
No, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Como dice, restart, así, lo vale madre, ya. Oh, que le quítenme la puta línea. ¿Qué pedo? Y según yo vi cucarachas y me cagué. Y dije,
You know what,
guácala,
Stanley?
mamá.
I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people. Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly
Espérate,
doable.
güey, suena
Why
bien
don't we simply
terrorífico
start
esto.
wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
¿Qué abrió? Ok.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Ay, güey.
Just me and Stanley forging a new
me
path,
estoy
a
poniendo
new
muy
story. Well, it
nervioso.
could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm
¿Qué me
ready
gustaría?
for
No
it.
sé. Jugar Skyrim.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the
No.
line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Entonces me regreso. No. No, esta no era la solución. Ay, otra vez. Pensé que está en un bucle. Dije, ¿por qué hay tantas chingadas vueltas? What the fuck. Bueno. A ver. Esto se ve totalmente como los backrooms de internet. Pero bueno, a ver. Me dicen, no sigas la línea va hacia donde yo voy, o sea. Obviamente hacia allá no puedo ir, hacia el pinche techo, pero es imposible que vaya para allá.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we
Que la
mustn't
tenemos-
squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay.
No mames.
So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that
Ey, ¿yo
somewhere
por qué
at
chingados le
the
hago
place
acá?
where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in
A ver
turn
si lo hago hacer al
means that
contrario.
our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse
Chingados.
door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
La puerta derecha, ¿verdad? Yo quiero la izquierda. ¿Qué chingados?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to
esto es muy
restart the
urgente, ya
game
me di cuenta.
eight times?
Como,
That's really how
Stanley
this
muere.
goes?
What the fuck?
It's all determined?
Encuentro una
So
librería,
now,
bórrate y
according to the
vete.
schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
La neta.
No, it can't
Llevo
be.
19 minutos en
I
esta
don't
madre.
want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer
Ala.
stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
¿Qué chingados?
So, okay.
Dios es grande, sí.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Ay. Puto juego de terror disfrazado de juego de elecciones y simulación. Me cagué. Se le olvidó todo al narrador entonces.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
Porque
memo.
siempre apago esa madre. A ver, yo sé saber cómo... Mira, este es diferente. Este es diferente, estamos en otro final. Sí, sí estamos en otro final.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door.
Le vamos por la parte izquierda.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to
Verga,
go
no sé
up
por
to
qué
his
me
boss's
estoy
office,
todo
hoping he
asustado.
might
What the
find an
fuck?
answer there.
Me asusté. Estoy todo pinche nervioso.
Oh no,
Qué grande.
no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much
que la...
in this room.
Bueno.
Please take
Pues...
your time. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
¿Y si bajo? ¿Y si bajo? A ver. Esto se ve juego de terror. Totalmente. ¿Qué es esto? No, pues no alcanzo a leer lo que dice, obviamente.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Pues sí.
None of it made any logical sense.
Pues no.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did
What the
doors
fuck?
close
Sí, cierto.
automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Espérate.
Stanley said to himself, this is
Este
all
carro ya
too
estaba.
strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
¿Por qué chingados está repitiendo todo?
Dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
aburrido
I
trabajo.
may as well enjoy this while I'm
Pues
still
sí.
lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Espérate,
Then
what the
he
fuck?
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much
fuck?
fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley.
Ay, no,
who
va a
found
ser
it
un bucle.
particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing
No,
my
se va a
thoughts,
romper
he
este
thought.
pedo.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course,
Espérate.
this was not a dream.
Dejé de ir hacia
How could it
adelante.
be? Was
O sea,
Stanley
empecé a ir hacia
simply
atrás.
deceiving himself? Believing
no?
that if
What the
he's
fuck?
asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all,
cojones?
he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Cojones?
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Espérate.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream.
Chingados.
I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
What the fuck?
Stanley
What the
began
fuck?
screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss.
What the
I have
fuck?
an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
¿Qué?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Ah, cabrón.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief
What the
moments,
fuck?
she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am
a
saying
gusto.
I am in
El juego me
control
dijo
of my
loco.
mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in
Güey,
a
yo no sé
certain
lo que es
way,
real y lo
seeing
que no.
this
O sea,
man
sí,
made her
pero
feel better.
a veces me lo
Then she remembered
cuestiono.
the
No quiero
meeting she
quedar
had
como ese
scheduled
güey.
for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body,
¿Quién ve un cadáver y
and
no le
then
habla
she
a la
turned
policía?
and ran.
Espérenme. Qué chingado. Ok. Se va a reiniciar en normal. Ok. Ok. What the fuck. Bueno, momento en Latinoamérica. Ya me di cuenta. Pero bueno, creo que aquí lo voy a dejar por hoy porque tengo que. Sí, 8:50. Tengo que trabajar. Pero bueno, muchas gracias por ver, Luis. Y. Y nada, pues. A ver, Luis, descárguese o actualice el Apex o algo para jugar. Se ocupa jugar. Muchas gracias, mi Luis. A lo mejor más noche juego la madre esa. ¿Cómo se llama? Mm, Fall Guys. O ahorita fue una partida. A ver. A ver. Ahí lo actualizo. Sí, Luis, actualízalo y jugamos. Jugamos incluso más noches o no algo. O mañana. Porque. No, mañana. Porque ya se me va a hacer tarde y a la verga después con el gimnasio. Pero bueno, mi Luis. Arre, mi Luis. Nos vemos y yo soy Luis Uloshi. Este fue otro directo de un juego que parece de terror. Un abrazo, mi Luis, le mando. Y el amo de la sabiduría más bien. Y nos vemos pronto. Igual, mi Luis, cuídate y ahí nos mensajemos para salir. Este fin a lo mejor no, pero el siguiente sí, porque este fin ya hice planes. Pero nada, nos vemos sobres. Sobres. Qué juego tan extraño. What the fuck. Sobres.